tired of the other women. I'm tired of him using me. For 2 months, I didn't even hear from you. Where were you?
I'm overwhelmed, man. I love you.
Fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice, shame on me. He fooled you about 50 times.
We are a financial disaster because of him.
Divorce doesn't exist where I'm from.
Neither one of you is wrong for having your opinions, but it just makes you wrong for each other. There's been a huge breach of trust, according to you.
She was on the fast with the pastor. She sending pictures with a smoothie of straw in her mouth and a sausage McMuffin. Can I eat this, pastor? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hold on, why you gotta send pictures with it?
Here is today's case.
She says her boyfriend of 7 years acts like a single man. He recruits exotic dancers for entertainment events, and she is suspicious of his time spent with his co-workers. He says she's insecure, but wants to fix their issues. That's today's case on Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, our virtual audience is filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is Isaiah from Denver, Colorado.
Isaiah, welcome to Divorce Court. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Your Honor, this is the case of Strothers versus Walker.
Thank you, Juan. Miss Ebony Strothers.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought Mr. Kenneth Walker.
Yes, ma'am.
To divorce court today. I understand the two of you have been in a relationship for the last 7 years.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in divorce court because you're not engaged, you haven't moved forward to marriage, but you want to see if you can work out some of the issues you have.
Yes, ma'am.
In order to decide what you're going to do with your next steps and hopefully not end up back here later down the road.
Right.
Okay, I'll start with you, ma'am. Why don't you give me some background?
Well, Your Honor, like you said, I've been with my boyfriend for 7 years, and I just feel like he's not trustworthy at all. He is a club promoter, and he does, he's in the nightlife on a normal day basis. So he's around a lot of women and a lot of strippers. And we have a lot of trust issues. And he also acts like, he's single for the most part when he's out and about. He doesn't answer his phone. His family's always constantly in our business. And I just need to know, if this is going anywhere or we can go our separate ways. I just need some answers today.
Okay, Mr. Walker, what do you have to say?
Your Honor, before we get started, I want to say that my iPhone does you no justice. You look beautiful.
Hello.
Mr. Walker, this is exactly why you're here today,
Exactly why
sir.
he's here today.
This is not helping your case.
At all.
I said when I meet Judge Faith, I wanted to tell her how beautiful she was. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Walker, are you going to tell Juan how beautiful he is,
no,
too?
I'm
Right.
gonna tell Juan now.
Go ahead, sir. Now that I know why you're here, tell me why you think you're here.
Well, I think I'm here because Ebony has major insecurity issues. She's very bad with money. We have to work out a lot of things before we go forward. She's constantly accusing me of sleeping with family members of hers that's a close friend of mine. And we here now because she said Judge Faith can fix it. But I love Judge Faith just like anybody else, but her problems is out of this world. I don't think the counseling is here.
I'm a judge, but I'm not a God.
Exactly.
So I will listen to the evidence today and we'll talk about it. But so you say you're here because you're just tired of being falsely accused.
I'm tired of being falsely accused.
So you're here to defend yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Strothers?
Yes.
You say he's a promoter. Is that how the two of you met?
Yes, that's exactly how we met, through a family member that they work closely together. We were in a club one night. We came through drinking and he seen me and we started talking and, eventually became in a relationship.
What do you say is happening? Because you have given me some specific incidents that you say have happened that have been very problematic with you in the relationship.
Well, he works with the strippers. Like, he goes and scouts strippers for his clubs and, he gets dancers to come in when they do shows for, his artists and stuff like that, when they shoot videos. So he's constantly around gorgeous women, he's in that field. And I understand that, that's fine. But when I'm trying to get in contact with Kenny, he never picks up the phone. Even when he's off work, he's like, oh, I'm still working. I know you're not at work, He's hanging out with female friends when I'm not around. He'll go hang out, have drinks, talk about our relationship with them, confide in them, and I can't get in contact with either one of my mutual friends. That seems a little odd to me.
Do you have a problem with him recruiting strippers?
I don't have a problem with it because that's a part of the entertainment business. That's what he does. I have a problem that
with me working.
the comments
It's
that
work.
he's always, that's what he says,
Yeah,
it's work.
it's work.
But he acts like he's single around other women, and I've seen that happen.
What have you seen?
I've actually pulled up to the job to surprise him on set when he's working on his show, and I caught him, his coworker was reaching over, chest all in the face, leaning towards him, and they didn't see me. Neither one of them saw me until it was too late, and it was a deer in headlights at that point.
Mr. Walker,
you're not doing anything.
Are you bringing your work home, sir?
I was at work, so I'm not bringing it home. She decided she wanted to pop up at our set.
To your job, is what you're saying?
To my job, because we have a show on YouTube that we do, and we rent out a location that we go and film our show.
What kind of show?
It's a talk show.
So the strippers were at the talk show?
No, she's talking about her family member who I've been friends with way before I met her. So what happened was, I'm sitting down at a laptop. She's standing over me. She has large breasts, so she had a cleavage out, so she was leaning over. So it appeared that her breast was on my neck.
So she was simply leaning over to get a closer look at the screen.
At the laptop.
That you were typing on.
At the same time, Ebony walks in.
Has your work and the fact that you are in the recruitment business as a promoter, has that come up a lot in your relationship, and how are you handling it?
Well, her close friend that we talking about, we've been recruiting strippers.
Before
And
you
then-
met her?
Before I met her. She knew what type of business I was in. She knew the work that I do. We've been throwing parties for over 10 years. She know we have our show on YouTube. Everything is media push. And since we're in Atlanta, it's a lot. It's the home of the strip clubs. So I'm constantly in contact with strippers, but it's just business. At one point, we was going through a little financial bend. I didn't have the money for the Georgia Pipe. It's like $300. I told Ebony I was gonna get the money, but instead, I went and got the money from my family. When I gave the money to Ebony to pay the bill, it come up missing.
What happened to the money? You say that not only you have a problem with his lifestyle, with the industry, but you also say that you have talked about and you've had an interest in moving their relationship forward, but that his family does not like you.
I feel like his family just has always something to say about our relationship issues. They always have a comment about something, so I've kind of like pushed it to the side. I don't really have a relationship with this family because I feel like it's none of their business. My relationship is with him and him only.
Well, it's been 7 years, so she's not close with your family at all?
No, there's reasons for that. I mean, the reason why my family is even involved is because, like, at one point we was going through a little financial bend. I didn't have the money. I think it was a Georgia Power bill. I didn't have the money for the Georgia Power bill. It's like $300. I told Ebony I was gonna get the money, but instead I went and got the money from my family. When I gave the money to Ebony to pay the bill, it come up missing. She don't know where the money went. She lost the money.
What happened to the money?
I paid the bill. He's super cheap. Don't let that fool you, Judge.
What do you do for a living? Do you work?
I'm not working now, but after COVID, no.
She's an inspiring actor.
Yes, I have dreams, aspirations to be an actress.
How long have you been aspiring?
Since the beginning of this year. I just started doing it.
Okay, prior to that, you had your own source of income?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But he's super cheap. Every time I go out and spend any type of money, he wants receipts for it. He'll give me money and say, go do this. You can go shopping. He's super controlling when it comes to our finances.
The bill wasn't paid. I had to ask my family member for the money over again.
What do you think happened to it, the money?
Where did it go?
Our family members, and I'm in agreement with them, we think that she's taking care of some broke man.
Really?
Oh, wow.
That's what we believe. She's taking care of some broke man.
Really?
That's the reason why our bills ain't getting paid when they're supposed to get paid, and I have to constantly go and get the money to pay for the bills that are supposed to have been paid the first time.
So you and your family think that about your girlfriend of 7 years?
Right. It's been little things with my close friend, flirtation with them, you know. I'm gonna ride with him to the store. Hours later, she's not back. The store ain't nothing but 5 minutes up the street. Where y'all been? Oh, we detoured, we went here, we went there. You know, I remember a time I came home from work. I mean, we normally have little get-togethers. People come over and drink, play cards and stuff like that.
Because they're mutual friends.
Mutual
we all
friends.
hang out in a group.
Right, but when I come in the door, she's dancing with a mutual friend.
Miss Strothers?
It was one occasion. We were drinking a lot, and we all have fun. We were all, you know, pretty turned up, and I just was, you know, not thinking. It wasn't anything that was, you know,
but he got upset about
at first. But sometimes I do it just to, you know, get back at him for what he does to me. He's constantly walking off and talking to them, entertaining them. So I do kind of entertain his friends just to get back at him, not because I want his friends.
She didn't even know I was coming home. So how could she be trying to get back at me? The party was going on.
That's a good point, actually.
She didn't know what time I was coming home.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free, 1-877-311-2222, or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
He's constantly disrespecting me and talking to females in my face, his stripper friends. When I do attend his club promotions and stuff like that, he's constantly walking off and talking to them, entertaining them. So I do kind of entertain his friends just to get back at him, not because I want his friends.
So you think he's being disrespectful, because I asked you earlier about the business, you think he's being disrespectful in front of you, so you in turn engage in your own disrespect just to get back at him.
Yes, sometimes, yeah.
She didn't even know I was coming home. So how could she be trying to get back at me?
She didn't know you were coming home?
She didn't know what time I was coming home. The party was going on.
That's a good point, actually.
She didn't know what time I was coming home. So
you
it's
said
not
she
to
was
get
just,
back at me. She's doing what she wanted.
She was just out there twerking because she wanted to.
Exactly.
Not because she was seeking revenge.
And maybe it's my part and my family members know about that because I went back and told them how she behaves when I'm not around.
You said a year and a half ago you had a conversation with Mr. Walker. What was that conversation about?
We're getting up in age. We've been together for a long time. And I had a conversation about him being serious. Where are we going in this relationship? What's the goal? Honestly. I mean, we wasted enough time. I feel like we do have a lot of stuff to work on, but I just need an answer, some clarity, just to find out, are we aiming to get married? Or is that on the table? What are we doing at this point?
And what was his answer to that?
He just doesn't want to talk about it. He shrugs it off like it's not a big deal. He's not ready to get married right now, sir.
So the answer is no?
No, correct.
Because when if it's ambiguity, the answer is no. And where do you stand today, sir?
I've answered her before. She knows where I stand. I told her, us getting married, babies, that's not gonna fix our problem. She has way too many insecurity problems for us to get married. We don't need to do all that until we fix the problem that we have.
If you think that about her, do you think that what you do for a living triggers some of these insecurities and perhaps makes the two of you incompatible?
I think that the issues we have could stem from that. I do try to clean it up a little bit. Maybe I won't hang out at the club so long. It's time to count the money up at the end of the night. I go on to the house instead of having drinks with her family member and stuff like that.
You said maybe you're gonna do that in the future?
No, I do it now.
Oh, you do it now?
I do it now.
Do you want to get married to Miss Strothers?
I mean, if she can clean it up, but right now, she needs real help.
You're saying she needs help with her insecurities?
It's ridiculous.
And you're saying that that's not true and he's the one that needs to make a change?
He needs to make a change because, I mean, it's constantly all the time. It's not like I'm just making these stories up just out of nowhere. It actually happens in front of me. And I don't think he realizes.
What have you seen happen in front of you specifically?
He talks to the strippers in front of me. Like when we're at events, he'll comment on their bodies. He'll be like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, you looking sexy. Stuff like that, right blatantly in my face.
And you told him that
it's not cool.
You don't like that.
Like it's disrespectful.
So you mean like
compliment a woman and, and say she looks nice, but there's a way of doing it, not, amplifying her body parts.
Well,
you mean like he started in court today?
Yes. And it's just, at this point, it's really disrespectful.
Mr. Walker?
This is what I tell her. My job is more so like a coach. You know, I gotta be social. I gotta get the girls in good spirit. Like, hey, you doing a good job at that. Hey, you looking sexy. Keep that up. That's
So you're a motivator.
I'm motivating. That's how I keep my business so lucrative. I have the dancers in a good spirit to do their job.
Okay.
It's motivation.
Here's what I think. You can't ask someone to change who doesn't see an issue with their actions.
Exactly.
Mr. Walker loves his job. He loves his industry. He loves being a promoter. He said he is out there recruiting. And when he's not recruiting, he's inspiring the people.
Right.
And he says that he's been doing the same job since before he met you. So in his mind, it is unfair for you to come in his life at this point and ask him to essentially leave and walk away what he does for a living. Your decision is, do I accept Mr. Walker for who he is? Because at this point in your relationship, you only have 3 choices. You can accept him, you can reject him, or you can try to rebuild him. And choice number 3 is the wrong one. Because it is not your job to go in and try to rebuild someone and make them into who you want them to be.
Exactly.
And Mr. Walker, to you, as you stated earlier in court, this is what you did for 10 years. Most women probably wouldn't be comfortable with what you do for a living and having to engage with the exotic dancers in the way and the manner that you do, especially in front of them.
It's respectful.
Well, sir, when you came into court today, I did not find your comment to be respectful.
That wasn't respectful?
So as an example, but this is why I said you can't ask someone to change who doesn't see an issue with their actions. I think it was disrespectful for you to come in court today and that's the first thing you say to me in front of your girlfriend of 7 years. It says a lot about what your perspective is and the way you think, the number one way you react and when you think when you see a woman. It might work for your job, but it doesn't work for a relationship, sir. Especially this one.
But
you have a lot of things happening. You say the intimacy is now gone in the relationship. You've resorted to doing things. You say they're revenge. You didn't know he was coming home, so now you're just acting out on your own.
Right.
Trying to get attention from whatever resource you can. And that's when you know that the communication has really broken down between the two of you, because what you should be doing is looking at each other and communicating, this is how I want to be loved, these are my needs, this is the way love works for me, this is what adds happiness to my life. And when you're in a relationship, you look at each other, you hear what the other one has to say, and you compromise, you adjust if you wanted to make it work. So the only thing you can do at this point is, if you either want to work on the relationship, you got to work on yourself. And you have to work on whatever the other person is telling you they need in order to sustain the happiness. Because right now you're just maintaining. Right now you're just existing in this. Because it's been 7 years and it's almost like you're choosing your history over your happiness.
Right.
So you make a different choice when you leave court today. And you have the open and honest communication that you want to have. You say you want to get married. You say you want a family. You say you want those things. Mr. Walker has answered you, and the answer is no. So you accept that. You take the truth in the matter, and then you make a choice with what you want to do with the next 7 years of your life, because you don't want to spend it in the tailspin that the two of you are in. I tell people all the time, when someone tells you who they are and they tell you what they want, believe them. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you. Take her advice and just move on with my life. I'm kind of at the point to where I don't want to keep it going anymore at all.
I don't think we can get married. Like Judge Faye said, I gotta fix myself, she gotta fix herself too. So if we both not fixing ourselves, then how can we come together and be one? Good while it lasts.
7 years down the drain.